All right, guys, here we are to talk about The Tick, Season 1, Episode 6. What did you think about this episode of The Tick? We got a cameo again, like you wanted it more. I don't know the guy's face, but he cameoed.
He's somebody. So you mean Champion, right?
Champion, yeah.
The dude.
Slash the Clark Kent character
Steve
of the episode, who's a lawyer.
Yeah, so that part I liked a lot. I feel like the Tick is sort of just checked out, though. I feel like in the last 2 episodes now, the Tick's
not as solid as he was.
Not really.
I did like when he was in the locker room taking the glasses off and back and forth.
Yes.
It was getting old,
Yeah.
and then the very last one when he's like, "Listen, buddy, if I have to tell you one more time," or however he says it, that made me laugh.
No, and like there's something to be said for something becoming funny because it goes on for a certain amount of time, or the way it's going and all that stuff. But that overall, like, because that is probably like the best bit. I can't think of. I don't know if I wrote down a better line, but I can't think of anything better. And like, I know it's not necessarily supposed to be all about the Tick, but the Tick being so dumb and just unaware of his surroundings or whatever is kind of getting to me. I like him to have a weird take on his surroundings, but to literally just not understand mail and like things or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's not just a lack of like familiarity and experience. It's like a lack of like ability to comprehend or something.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, I don't know if it feels weird to me. I'm not a fan.
But there's another moment suggesting how old he may be in this episode, where it's like, never in a million years think we'd be involved. He's like, twice. Right,
so that can be the whole thing, is that maybe all this, he's Dr. Manhattan, and all this is so trivial to him that he can't be bothered with understanding it or something like that.
We'll never know.
He's like a wise Buddha figure. No, I know, we're like over halfway through this. This is the only season of this,
yeah,
right?
we're 3 episodes from the end here, and I believe it canceled mid-season, so I don't even think there's like a cliffhanger.
Okay, like 9 episodes, like a pilot season, like a short, damn. Well, looking forward to it.
No, but based on the last, if the last 3 episodes are anything like this episode and the one before it, you're like, I can kind of see why it got canceled. Like,
I guess
these are not as strong as the first episodes.
That's weird, though. That's super unfortunate. I'm not sure what happened.
There
are some good points here, though.
What do you got?
I did like the whole thing where they go to the lawyer and it's that guy. And the whole deal, it's like the like inverse of the, so like, you know, it's he even has a little swirl, like it's an obvious Superman Clark Kent thing, and like having him play his double life, and instead of trying to like just protect his identity and then go do heroing, he's a shitheel out there, and he's using his day-to-day life where he's a lawyer though or whatever to fucking like protect his like boys club organization and all that stuff. So it's got like a whole different it is like a negative image of like the like typical Justice League like scenario. It's like a British smoking club. Yes, where they like, but they are shitty, and it's not even like they cover all their bases. It's like pretty solid. It's like too quick to really explore this material, really, but they don't even do the heroing. They say like, you need to have an official photographer with you. Those are the rules. We have a certain image to maintain, all that stuff. So even if they were awesome heroes, but had these old ways of being like a shitty boys club, that would be like, oh, well now it's gray and I can't tell if they're good or bad. But they're just horrible. They've just consumed this whole sector. They're just the 1% of like, you know, rich elites. Exactly, but they're taking up all these superheroes, and everyone's desperate to become like a member. And when you become a member, you're so happy to be there that you wouldn't want to rock the boat. And not only, and you can see Tick's face every time anyone suggests you don't fight crime. He's like, no, and all that stuff, because he wants to fight crime so badly. And like that's beautiful. That's the Tick thing that I want. Yeah. You know? But then there's peppered in so many bad things, like the ripping up of their charter or whatever it was. I was like, that's just Bush League shit. What was that? That was crazy. Why would it not be in a fucking glass container? Well, and like, why is he touching it and weird? Like the hand movements were all weird. Like they got there on set that day, and it's like, we're supposed to rip it. How do we do that? All right, fuck, just film it. I don't know. We only have one though. We only have one, exactly. We only have one. Just make something up funny. You're funny, people. Just make it work. Did that work? No, but we only had one. We have to move on to the next scene. Like, it would be very simple to just be like, Tick, don't touch that. And he puts it down, but it's round, so it rolls off, and that rips it. Like, it would be very like, but ripping into shreds like that, I was like, come on. Or steps on it and goes to pick it up, and it tears, or some weird thing, just something. I was not a fan. No, like really weird. But then right after that, a little bright spot. Champion shakes Arthur's hand. Crack.
Yes.
Oh, and then Tick's like, my dude, hello, and he, oh, and then like,
yes.
like he gets it, and he's like, what the fuck?
And then he punches him later as like, hey, bud, and breaks his arm.
I love these hints at how powerful Tick is.
Yeah.
Right, because like in the cartoon, like steel girders like land on his head, and then it's like the shape of his head is like in the thing, like he's like impossibly strong and powerful, and that coupled with his childlike innocence and like good heart and like we must defend the people, Arthur, and this whole thing is this like wonderful. So that got me all like encouraged, like oh great or whatever. But then we spend a lot of time with the
fluff and filler in this episode that I was
time.
like,
A lot of going to the lawyer, talking about the thing, going back and forth.
Even the like end, I was like, this is drawn out and long. We're like, oh Tim, I know you're the champion. No, you are. That's totally champion.
So the only good thing about that is we call back to Tick's inability to tell them apart.
Yeah.
In this kind of funny way, and Champion does like like a fast run thing, and Tick's like, hey, and is like over there all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's awesome. Because again, I love these weird little hints of like, well, I'm not. He's like, why would I race anyone? I only run when justice is has my tailwind. Like he'll have some weird thing or something about why you didn't know he was like, wait, he's fast? That doesn't make any sense. What? All of a sudden, because he's not flaunting it, he's not doing what the other heroes do and everything.
Blindly the most powerful man in the world, and
some sort of intergalactic, Mr. Magoo that can just do whatever. It's a wonderful template for a character. It's basically
it's just not executed as perfectly as it should be.
No, it's a version of One Punch Man almost, right? With a different, because you can take that template and take it in all these different ways and. Oh, damn. No, so like the Tick that I want is teaching the world to have this other perspective through through his innocence and his indomitable spirit and all that stuff. And this Tick is just a couple chuckles at this point, right? It's gone downhill for somehow.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get an upswing toward the end here, and it's just like whatever.
Well, every episode's kind of standalone, so
it could be anything.
So every time you're rolling the dice, and you could see a whole different thing. So that's the only one of the only strong suits. Because I'm not like, oh no, they introduced this. Now we're gonna be stuck here in this crappy thing. I know next episode there'll be a new character, a new cameo from a C-list comedian that whose name I don't know as a superhero, and something great happening or whatever potentially. Yeah. Also, in like the epilogue, when it's like we did the settlement and all that stuff, and then in true shitty old boys club smoking jacket fashion, they just declare bankruptcy, change their name, and go on as if everything's fine or whatever.
Yeah,
that got me like pretty. I was like happy with that ending or whatever.
Yeah, a little sad they didn't get any money out of it.
No, but that's the whole meme too. Is you always have to end
exactly
up
where you left off, where you started, rather.
Yeah, but where we're ending up and where we're starting are not knocking it out of the park for me. I'm kind of disappointed in like the Tick. Patrick Warburton is funny, and this Tick and him are not like. It's like salad dressing. Every now and then they shake it, and it's good, but then it begins to separate almost immediately for me.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And yeah, this might have been. Is this the weakest episode for me? I don't know. But it's certainly not.
It's competitive with the one before it, right? That for
exactly
for weakest.
No, I like the character, but again, they're not really doing it for me. There was like per 22 minutes we had like 5 solid jokes.
That's honestly a great ratio.
Is it?
Well,
but
it depends on what
the problem
you're
is they're throwing 4 or 5 a minute. If you were not throwing any, if it was like an action like thing, and like 5 times I was dying, I'd be like, oh, it's really good.
No, that's true. Because you look at like a movie that is also a real movie, like the first X-Men has like 4 jokes that are great in it, right? And it's also a movie, right? Yeah. So this is just No, it's disappointing. I like a lot of the people in it and a lot of the things that they've done, but yeah, it's not for how much it's asking of you to just say, hey, it's fine, it's a comedy, go with it. It's not rewarding you enough with comedy to make that work.
Any other tidbits on this episode?
No, except that I hope that next episode is better.
Indeed. All right, guys, that's our thoughts on this episode of The Tick. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.